Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Bandwidth for redditUP is provided by Cachefly at CACHEFLY.com.
This is redditUP, episode 6, recorded Wednesday, September 3rd, 2014. These are not the nude portraits you're looking for.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to redditUP. This is the show that discusses all of the big stories happening on that social news media site, Reddit. I'm Chad Johnson.
And I'm Sarah Lane. Reddit, of course, is kind of, well, we like to think of as where the internet starts, where memes are created, where so many of the things that we know and love originate. At reddit.com.
At reddit.com. There's so much to explore, and there's subreddits and memes and all sorts of stuff. Everyone's experience of Reddit is very, very different.
Yours and mine, for example.
Yes.
Because you're always like, hey, this really cool subreddit. And I'm like, Chad, what is
What
wrong
are
with
you
you?
talking about? I've unsubbed from most of the defaults, actually. Like, I'm not subbed to R or Pix.
Is there a name for people like you who are like, I am specifically not going mainstream sub. I'm going, you know,
Probably.
a little bit more of a deep dive into
Hipsters?
the.
I don't know.
You're a Reddit hipster.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, that's right. Hey Chad, what are you doing? Oh, I'm exploring a new subreddit. You've probably never heard of it.
Yeah, this one, it's like only has like 100 subscribers.
Yeah, it's just
not
like-
many people found it yet, but it's really
My
nicely
friend
curated.
Craig told me about it.
Yeah.
He's
we
really
were eating some
underground.
organic kelp at the time, and he posted me this subreddit. It's really good.
Good times.
So let's start off with top stories. These are the big things that happened on the site. Of course, this week there was lots of sex and scandal and heartbreak around this first top story. This was submitted to r/World News. The whole world knew about this one from Dr. Explosion. Russian sex geckos die in orbit.
Oh,
yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Gosh, I mean,
Bummer.
this was, it was,
A lot of people were in uproar over
news
this.
hit over the weekend, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, it was, you know, anytime it's, you know, sort of like a sex scandal.
Yeah.
Especially when it has to do with outer space, you know,
Right.
it gets people pretty up in arms.
Yeah.
And
I mean, you could say that this
Redditors sometimes band together and wonder,
Yeah.
what does it all mean? Should we have acted differently?
should we trust the cloud anymore? I mean, it's next to space.
Who is that 4chan anyway?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. So these sex geckos were sent into space by the Russian government, and apparently at some point the heating system of their capsule broke down and they froze to death.
Well, this is just actually super sad.
I know. What's funny to me is the information that we've received seems like, yeah, when they landed, they were dead and frozen. So we assume they froze. Like, it was like, how are you planning on getting, like, this was an experiment to see how these geckos mated in space with low gravity. And it seems like their whole idea was shoot them up into space. If they come back pregnant, thumbs up. Like, did they not monitor anything else? Like, they came back and were like, we don't know. I guess we had these flies they have these flies on board. They had sex, mission accomplished. It was like, were you not gonna time this? Were you not gonna, like, have any evidence? It was like, they came back dead. We assume that the heating broke. I don't know, just seemed weird.
Well, that one was submitted by Dr. Explosion. The next one, I mean, we should probably actually get to the real story of the week. This was submitted by user Job. And it, of course, has to do with nude photos, specifically nude photos that are taken by a nude person.
Ah, nude portraits, you might say.
Nude portraits, exactly.
Oh,
now, this is actually, it's kind of an interesting little collection of photos.
Yeah, so
that
this
have
is
to
a
do.
nude
So
portrait.
these are normal people
Right.
that are being photographed by a nude portraiteur, photographer.
Oh.
And as you can see, they are not sure what to think.
Yeah, they're These are just normal
Now
people.
this girl is kind of like,
Oh.
I think I might be into it as I eat my raspberries. I'm not sure yet. Jury's out.
So you're saying on the other side of this lens, there's a nude person.
That's correct.
Oh gosh, yeah, that'd be weird.
That's
and
his photography
controversial.
gimmick.
Huh.
Do you see what our gimmick is on the show yet, everybody?
Yeah.
Because we have one.
Yeah, a little bit. If you know.
Anyways, yeah, that was good. That was submitted to the funny subreddit, and it is funny. It's
I like that headline. You know, nude portraits. Also, you know, if you're BlackBerry right now, you might have a little message you'd like to send your users. You know. When private photos need to remain private.
Oh, BlackBerry.
Yeah, that was also submitted to r/funny by.
This is, of course,
Red
not
Dawn
something that
42.
BlackBerry did.
No.
It was just a
This was
really
just
good idea.
This is what they should have done.
That's-
You remember that whole Oreos thing? You can enjoy Oreos in the dark when the Super Bowl went dark?
Yes.
Yeah, they need that team.
This would have been
at
their Oreo
BlackBerry.
moment.
Yes.
Isn't that funny that that has become a thing? Do you all know what we're talking about? It was a.
It's like immediate social
It was a
marketing.
short tweet that
Right.
Nabisco, I guess who
Yes.
makes Oreos, had sent out. Yeah, during a Super Bowl where the lights went dark. And everybody now calls it like, we all need our Oreo moment.
Yeah.
Which was the most perfect, you know,
Timing.
little 3-second marketing idea ever.
Yeah.
Don't know if it sold any Oreos.
Have no
but
idea.
everyone still thinks that the company
no
did
idea.
a really good job that day.
Yep.
All right, moving on. This is actually pretty fun. I was wondering before the show, I was like, why do they keep starting the Star Wars theme over and over
Yeah.
there? Why are they doing that? This was submitted by Will Flameboy, and it's a Star Wars website, you know, make your own text crawler type thing.
Right.
So it's the Star Wars opening that
Yeah.
we all know and love.
Dun, dun, dun.
If you don't know it and love it, I don't know what to do with you. But then you can write whatever you want.
Yeah,
About
so
your own life.
Karsten wrote a little thing in here. We're on episode 6 here currently.
Of here, redditUP, yeah.
Revenge of the J-Law.
Yes, J-Law, right.
Chaos,
It is a period of chaos. The Prostate Cancer Foundation has refused Reddit's donations. Major newscasters cannot tell if Reddit is a website or a person. And
They pulled out their band hammer. Yeah, so anyway, so all you have to do
Good stuff.
is there's an edit button on this site, and it brings up this really cool window onto the site, and you can type anything you want in there. What's also crazy is that, like, at the moment that I saw it, I was like, whoa, this seems weird and, like, fluid. And it's because the original movie's in 24 frames, and this is
Yeah, right,
whatever
right.
your computer can handle. I was like, wow, it seems really fast. Crazy, whoa.
it's strangely perfect.
It's strangely nicer than I remember it.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
there's no graininess
oh, have
or
you?
anything.
I mean, have you watched Star Wars lately? It's
The new ones, or yeah, I guess.
no, like the original.
Oh, I don't think I've ever seen a
New Hope?
non-edited New Hope.
Wow.
Because when we got it on a VHS, and I think we got the computer futzed with version,
Oh, that's interesting.
where Han shot second.
Well,
Sorry,
don't spoil
guys.
the series.
Sorry.
We've got some more movies coming out.
So hey, last week we covered the subreddit. Take my money, please. Shut up and take my money. This one is sort of another addition to this in r/gaming from Jake Alec 1. This is a GLaDOS ceiling lamp that looks perfectly like GLaDOS, but then also moves around. And you don't even need to take anyone's money because it can be 3D printed yourself. He's added the 3D printing information onto Thingiverse, so you can print this out yourself, and it just looks so... Did you ever play Portal? This is from the video game Portal.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it reminds me
Yeah,
of.
the GLaDOS
Yeah.
main character. And, you know, yeah. They should do a secondary mod where they make a potato that, well, I guess it wouldn't do anything. It'd just be a potato. It might taste really good, but...
You know, Chad, I was trying to pay attention to you, but it was difficult because of my brand new Reddit AMA app that I have running on my iPhone.
What?
Yeah, so it's interesting because, was it just last week or a couple weeks ago when we were talking about, or maybe it was a conversation we were having with somebody on Twitter, and someone said, what's the best Reddit app? Because Reddit doesn't have an official one.
Right.
And you had like Blue Alien.
Blue Alien for iOS. I like Bacon Reader for Android.
I think that Bacon Reader was what Leo suggested, because we talked about this on the iPad today as well.
Right.
Point being, Reddit just for whatever reason just never had an official app. And I think I've always thought that was a little bit weird just because it's so popular. Why not capitalize on something, you know, that people would enjoy? So it's not actually a Reddit app in the sense that it's everything about Reddit. It's only AMAs, which of course is Ask Me Anything, which of course Chad and I cover here on redditUP, and we will a little bit later in this here show. But it's done really well.
This is an official AMA app.
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is cool.
It's made by the Reddit team. Works great. You have some options of how you want to search. You know, if you want to see like hot AMAs right now, this is stuff that people are submitting. Maybe it's happening right now. Recent AMAs, and the recent is actually a kind of fun section because it's not necessarily all the celebrities and the big names. It's people who.
It's like, hey, I make jeans for a living.
Yeah,
in
ask me something.
South Africa. Ask me about it.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, I fell off a ladder once. Ask me anything. Whatever, whatever it is.
I have just found Reddit. Ask me anything.
Right. Yeah. What's it like being you? And then of course you've got your all-times. Barack Obama's AMA is up there, of course. Bill Gates. Neil deGrasse Tyson, Peter Dinklage. Anyway, it's a great little app. It's completely free, and it launched on iOS this week. The team says Android is coming like any second. So, between the two operating systems, insecure as they are, you can at least get an AMA app.
I think that this is great because also discovering, like, I wish that Reddit posts would be a little bit more discoverable in Google, because sometimes someone will ask a question that I've seen a million times, and the answer is just so brilliant in the comments, but Google doesn't have the best way of finding it. And highlighting a section of Reddit like AMA where it's almost everything is gold in an app, I think is a good way to, instead of hype Google juice, is to discover it in some other way.
I will say, if I have to nitpick about anything, you can search for a specific AMA if you know that it exists, or keywords or that sort of thing.
Right.
I did one a few years ago, and I do not show up. And I searched Leo Laporte's name. Of course, he shows right up.
So
I don't know,
there's some curation.
man.
It's not all of them.
It's either that or somebody at Reddit hates me.
Yeah.
And that could be possible as well.
Dang. Well, it is time for our video break.
Yes.
This time,
I need one.
this was submitted to r/videos by I am Kion132. This is probably the perfect invention ever. You've heard of a carrot on a stick? This is a laser pointer on a cat's head.
Carrot on a stick?
Yeah, you put a carrot on a stick, put it in front of the pig or the horse or whatever, and it can't get to it.
Dangling.
Right.
Got it. Okay.
So this is, someone has
That is
put
not nice.
a laser pointer on this cat's
That
head.
is not nice.
And anywhere he looks, the laser pointer, and it works really well. Now,
that's so confusing too, because it's like, it's not ahead of the cat in any way,
Yeah.
It's actually where the cat's looking.
Yeah.
So it's probably like weirdly frustrating where the cat's like, it's almost like a mirror.
Yes, yes.
But at the same time, it's laser pointer, and cats, for the most part, go crazy for
I
those.
really want to try this with my cat,
That's
except
not
that it
nice.
looks like
That's
it's
not
just
nice.
it's just freaking on a piece of tape on the cat's head.
Yeah.
I want a little cat helmet to put it on.
I don't think this is a good idea. I think this is the way to get your cat to have a nervous breakdown of some kind.
I love
and
it.
Cats are so fragile anyway, as far as sanity goes. All right, should we move on to our AMAs, as we mentioned? VFA later in the show, not that much later, in fact. Okay, Luc Besson had an AMA that we're going to cover this week. It was titled Luc Besson here, AMA. If you're not familiar with him, sci-fi sort of action director.
He did Fifth Element.
The Fifth Element.
He has a new
recently, Lucy.
Lucy, yep.
Lucy, also the name of my cat. Thank you, Luke.
That's coming out new.
And The Transporter, and
He's been credited on so many different movies, like hundreds of movies.
You've seen all of his movies, even if you don't realize.
Right, absolutely. And he mentions even in the thread that he's not a very public person, so this is, something that he's not exactly, he probably wouldn't have done. It seems like this is as some sort of way to get out a little bit of information about Lucy. But anyway.
Of course. And we should say often AMAs are, they're timed around the release of a movie. He's probably got someone saying, this is a really good thing for you to do over on Reddit, but we're not complaining because it's always nice to hear from
that's why that's what most interview sessions are.
Of course.
They're based around something. So, first question I have is, please, I have to know what the hell is the brown stuff that runs down on people's foreheads when they're talking to the ultimate evil in Fifth Element. I don't know if you remember this, but the guy who had the weird comb over with the plastic thing, whenever he's talking on the phone with him, like, it looks like motor oil, like comes and he touches it and it's brown and weird.
I've seen the movie. It's been a long time.
It's like I completely agree with this commenter. I have seen that. I was like, why isn't it blood? Could they not show blood on television? Is that why it's
what's
brown?
the deal?
Like, yeah, what's the deal?
So that was submitted by Where's the Cheese and well, now is this his name?
Yeah.
Celia Lab.
Celia Lab.
Okay,
Yeah,
so anyway,
that's his username.
that's Luke's username. He says, our entire body is full of impurities. The evil is able to concentrate them and to exit them through your skin, exactly like when you're sick and your impurities go out through your pimples. Well, geez.
Yeah, so that's
I feel
like
I
pure,
feel like that's happening even when we're not
that's
sick. That's
pure impurity running down your forehead.
That is so disgusting.
What it's supposed to be.
And it's brown.
Yeah.
Yeah,
this guy is full.
I'm sorry, color brown.
Full of ideas. So next, this was by Cash Up the Yin Yang. How do you feel about people getting upset over the 10% of your brain logic you used in Lucy?
All right, so Luke goes ahead and says, in the movie, a student asked Morgan Freeman, is it proved scientifically? And Freeman answered, no, it's an old theory and we're playing with it. So I never hid the truth. Now, I think some people believed in that film and were disappointed to learn after that the theory was inexact. But hey guys, Superman doesn't fly, Spider-Man was never bitten by a spider, and in general, every bullet shot in a movie is fake. Now we're using our brain. Are we using our brain to our maximum capacity? No, we still have progress to do. The real theory is that we use 15% of our neurons at the same time, and we never use 100%. That was too complicated to explain, so I just made it more simple to understand for the movie. Now, you might say, that is artistic license.
Right, totally.
Happens all the time.
Yeah, when he started, it's like, Superman doesn't exist. It's like, yeah, you're right, okay.
Yeah, but as this is Reddit, of course, and people have strong opinions, there is a user named No Data who, I mean, it's so perfect, right? Who says, neuroscientist here. I have no clue what Besson is referring to, and this % of our brain at the time, BS, is one of the most infuriating fallacies about brain function out there. And he really goes on a rampage. Now, he doesn't say he's a man, so maybe he's a woman. Yes, all of your neurons don't fire simultaneously, and a large constellation of neurons fire in one go. That's called a seizure. If I'm trying to be generous, maybe Besson heard about 50% of your neurons are firing at every given moment, but I don't know anybody who's done that calculation.
Sarah, let me, this is what we call TLDR.
Okay.
That comment was so long it even fell off the edge of our video screen. So I would suggest go looking at that. It's literally like 4 or 5 paragraphs of explanation.
If not more. But
Right.
And the great part is I just love how it's like, you're a neuroscientist, but you definitely know how to write for the internet. All caps. number your arguments. Yeah.
Right.
With specific points.
Right.
And make sure you get back to how this director is really being irresponsible.
If you really want the TLDR, it is, yes, of course your brain doesn't fire all at once. You would be having a seizure if it did, and there are portions that need to be turned off, just like ones and zeros in a computer. There needs to be zeros. If there's just ones all the time, your computer only uses half of its processor. Sarah, did you know that? Because it was sending ones. Anyway, that's kind of the argument.
All right, let's move on to another AMA. This is kind of one of those more random AMAs. This was from an account that's since been deleted because the user probably didn't want to out his or herself
as username.
Yeah, exactly. But the AMA was, I am a Comcast employee who works in the loyalty department, the department that you have to go through to disconnect service. Ask me anything.
So,
and of course, this is somewhat timely because Comcast has been outed lately as being basically impossible to disconnect service from.
The worst, literally.
Yeah.
So, Store Lovers Incorporated asks, what can I say to get their service disconnected as fast as possible?
Comcast employee says, don't say anything. Just say you want to disconnect and don't give any reason at all. Don't give a reason for why you won't give a reason. The more you say, the more we have to work with.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Next, the Birdman 2012 said, we are all aware of the call that surfaced several weeks back.
Our friend Ryan Block, actually.
Our friend
Somebody we
Ryan
actually
Block
know in San
Ryan
Francisco.
where a customer was trying to disconnect their service. if I wanted to disconnect my service without giving any details, what would I have to do or say? Or what would I have to do to avoid the hassle to disconnect?
All right, Comcast employee says, I know the call you're referring to. That call specifically was not how a disconnection should be handled. Nothing about that was right. I assure you that guy got fired. Most agents will give up trying to save you after like 2 or 3 attempts. I'll ask twice, but if you insist on simply disconnecting and not talking about it, I'll put you on hold for a minute or two while I shut your service off, and I'll get you on your way. Typically, a call like this would take me about 4 to 5 minutes total from the time I say hello to the time you hang up.
Right.
Well, let us all have you as a customer service
Absolutely.
support rep next time.
And finally, the most upvoted comment was, can I disconnect my service?
And the answer was no. No, you cannot.
No, you can't. So the AMAs coming up. What are those?
Victoria Taylor. Now, you may not be familiar with Victoria Taylor, but if you're on Reddit enough, you are. She is. Would you consider her a Reddit mascot of some kind? She runs a lot of communications for the company. She's just well known within Reddit
kind of
itself.
a face. Yeah.
In fact, I mean, we've actually been in contact with Victoria, obviously, because we got a Reddit show. That'll be on September 4th. Lenny Kravitz, singer,
Never heard of him.
songwriter, and actor. Come on.
Just kidding.
Can you name one Lenny Kravitz song, though?
No, probably not. I mean, if I heard something and you're like, this is
Are you
Lenny
gonna go my way? And I got to know. How about
Probably.
It ain't over till it's over?
If I like actually heard it, not you just singing it, probably.
How about the Hunger Games?
Yay!
I figured. I'm like, what decade would Chad relate more to?
The Hunger
Mine
Games.
and,
Denzel Washington.
That's on September 5th, day after Victoria Taylor, and then also on September 5th is Denzel Washington.
Perfect.
Notable for every movie ever.
Ever.
And a really good smile.
Yeah.
God, I love his smile.
Yeah. So, you know what? Let's just hit right into it. Here is
I got some heartburn.
our
I need to feel
Aw
better.
of the week. Aww. I love this part. Oh, it's a taco dog.
Taco dog with lettuce.
Oh my gosh.
Mad.
Wow.
Ooh.
Oh, I'll take 2, please.
Yeah. Somebody's having a good day at the park.
Wow.
Hey, bud.
Aww. He's mad.
I don't like kale.
I don't like kale. Oh my God.
What is that?
It's like a cross between a pig and a puppy.
I don't even know what's happening.
That is the most adorable cat I've ever seen.
Pretty cute.
Dim eyes. Dim eyes. So let's move on to the subreddit.
Dim eyes. I was like, dim? That's not very nice.
Dim eyes. Subreddit of the week.
What is it, Chad?
I know you guys, we kind of pulled a prank on you in the beginning of the show. It was something we wanted to talk about. So we'll talk about what every single one of you really wants to talk about: porn.
Yes.
We'll just talk blatantly about porn.
Porn.
There's a lot of subreddits on
That's
Reddit
short for pornography.
for about porn.
Nudies.
So I'm going to cover one of them now. This is called abandoned porn.
Okay.
And it's photos of abandoned buildings. So what's going on is people love, the adjective of porn will be added to nouns on Reddit of stuff that just gets your blood pumping.
Porn is more of a noun.
Well, I know it is a noun, but this is more like, yeah, you're right, I guess. Technically, I guess.
Whatever, Chad. Let's not talk semantics here. Let's talk about porn.
Right. So the idea is that, you've heard of food porn or, image porn or I don't know. So this subreddit is dedicated to things that have been abandoned that just look beautiful.
I see.
That are just absolutely
like
cool
these
to browse
stairs to
through.
nowhere in New Hampshire.
Stairs to nowhere.
They probably belonged to something at one point.
There's almost always just amazing mansions that are just they don't build them like they used to. Look at this. Look, this moss that's just grown on this conference room.
That is cool.
It's just every single day. This is just filled with the most beautiful images. Many times this will be a known location. So in the comments, there'll be more photos from that location.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, and then a lot of the people who go and take the photos are subscribed to the notion of, take nothing but photos, leave nothing but footprints. You know, like so they try to keep everything nice and preserved.
I've in my travels in my life, you sometimes come across stuff like this.
Right.
I feel like I could contribute to the subreddit.
It is so amazing.
I hopefully impress a few people.
I just absolutely love it. And sometimes I'll just get completely sucked in to finding out about the location, because normally in the comments you'll find out like what it is, and you can read the Wikipedia article about it.
Yeah.
And sometimes there was even one that was it was like an abandoned outpost that was like a artillery refueling area, and someone said, man, someone should really make a game based off of this location. Someone was like, indie developer here, I have, and it turned out really badly. Here's my story on a blog post. Like, it's just a really great place to look at beautiful images of abandoned places, buildings, and locations, and then also a great place to just get hooked on the internet. So, abandoned porn. There's lots of other different sort of porn, noun porn things. One of the trending subreddits for today was penmanship porn. Which is just really nice handwritten.
People who have beautiful handwriting.
Yeah, just beautiful handwriting.
Well, it's not that common that people write things anymore.
No.
So when you see something, you're like, oh, how did you learn that in this day and age of computing?
Yes.
It does happen to me every once in a while.
It's like watching someone do some ancient thing like speak Latin or...
Right, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't even know if I can do cursive anymore. It's been a while since I tried.
No, I gave up.
I don't know. I don't know. When's the last time
Remember when that was going to be the way you wrote because it's faster than... Yeah, there's penmanship porn. You can see some... Like, look, that's someone wrote that.
I don't like that one.
Yeah, some of them are, there's like some cool calligraphy stuff, like there's some calligraphy stuff. And then there's also stuff like, oh my God, their handwriting is literally like font. So there's a few different versions on penmanship
I love it. All right, let's move on to our Ask Reddit question of the week. This, of course, is a question that we're not making it up. It was asked of the Reddit community. Anybody can participate. And no matter how stupid the question is, sometimes it's supposed to be kind of a, supposed to make you think for a while.
Some of them
you always
even
get
have
these
the
great
tag
answers.
serious. Like, I'm serious about this. I actually want people to answer it.
Right.
Sometimes it's like, you can just play along with
kind
the
of
silly joke.
Yeah. So the question this week was, this sounds so stupid. If you were a spooky ghost, what unusual location would you haunt? Now that is a question I'd be like, on the surface I'd be like, that's dumb.
That's
like
dumb.
Casper,
But
I don't
no,
know,
seriously,
like
if
whatever.
you're a spooky ghost.
But we've got some pretty good answers. Because the whole idea is like, if you're a ghost, you can screw with people.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
You're dead now.
Yeah.
What makes you laugh? What gives the raffles?
Exactly.
This was from Captain Magic Trousers. Says Star Wars conventions. I'd wait for someone to try to use the Force to move something. Then I'd actually make it move for them, but I'd only do it once. They'd spend the rest of their life trying to make it work again. I'd say that's a pretty good haunt.
Mean.
That's a pretty good haunt for the rest of their life. They'd be like.
Have you ever thought like to yourself, this is like one of those things where you're like, maybe I am just the special person in the world.
Yes.
And like I do have this power, and I just have to figure out how to unlock the power because I am special.
Right.
And imagine if somebody like me who thinks in egomaniacal terms, and this happened, I would spend the rest of my life trying to figure out how to unlock.
That's the
my
epitome of a
potential
haunt.
It's really mean.
You'd never forget.
Good work, Captain Magic Trousers. Okay, Ristic, user Ristic has another one. Says, am I invisible? Because then I would just haunt the streets of Paris, finding mimes and then beating them up. It's the perfect crime. Mimes are the worst.
Absolutely.
I am so on board with this.
And everyone else would be like, what a good mime. Wow. Yeah.
He's just bleeding.
He's bleeding. He's literally bleeding.
That mime just gave himself a broken leg and then
stop hitting yourself.
Threw himself into the river.
Yeah. Threw himself to the river.
And then,
yours Dully says, I'd haunt the Large Hadron Collider tunnel and direct post-collision subatomic particles in such a way that they draw the figure of Jesus. Imagine the headlines in the news. Jesus appears in the UHC. LHC. And now Fox News would have to run with it.
Sure, yeah. Jesus on a piece of toast.
Yep.
Jesus in a cornfield.
You
Large
could do a
Hadron
lot.
Collider.
Yeah, this is the biggest science ever. Oh, it's Jesus. Yeah, I could really see that being a pretty bad troll.
Yeah, that's a good one. Thank you, yours, Julie.
Yeah.
All right, so I was trying to like really rack my brain for like what would be like the coolest ghost thing, and I think that really, you know, if I think of the places that I would kind of want to hang out anyway, even if I was a ghost, it would probably be like a bar. And yeah, let's call it anywhere between midnight and 2, or if you're in a place where the bars are open a lot later, you just start like taking drinks.
Okay.
You don't even have to just put them somewhere else.
Right.
Because when people start to get inebriated, they kind of get confused.
Right.
And so you could watch like fights break out within the bar among the patrons, and it's just a little ghost switchery-do.
It's a pretty good troll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you could just, slowly move, a beer in front of somebody who was super wasted, and then they'd just
be like, "Oh,
I gotta go. I think my beer is floating."
Yeah, I wonder what, instead of, all these were trolly, I wonder what you could do in a sense of good. Like make sure, take a beer away from a drunk person, or, I've been trying to think for, the whole 2 hours that we've been recording, and I can't.
Well, we haven't been recording for 2 hours.
I know, but I saw this. Karsten decided that this was the one we were gonna talk about.
Good one, Chad. Way to crumble under pressure.
I would haunt microphones and cause static, and everyone would try to figure out where it was coming from, and it was me. I'm a spooky ghost.
Well, spooky. You know what it is? You're just such a nice person. You can't think of.
I know. I want to do
good.
I wouldn't want to do bad.
Yeah, well, God love you.
You did, yeah.
All right, let's move on to what we learned today.
Today I learned there's a programming language called Arnold C that is based solely around Arnold Schwarzenegger quotes.
Really?
Yep.
Like hasta la vista, baby.
Hasta la vista, baby. And that's how you drop all your frames. I don't know.
Weird.
Sure. Yeah.
Cool. That was from Melty Goblin. Fred the Other Fish, I love your guys' usernames, says, today I learned that Wu-Tang Clan's Old Dirty Bastard, may he rest in peace, was the first person in California arrested under the then new law against being a convicted felon wearing a bulletproof vest.
Wow.
If you're a convicted felon, take that vest off.
Sorry. Yeah, you can't be protected. It's your fault.
You've done something bad.
You did something bad.
You need to be more vulnerable, ODB.
So this comes from I Come From B. Today I learned that yawning is not contagious for children with autism due to their inattention of facial cues rather than their lack of empathy.
Do we really feel like yawning is contagious in general?
I do.
So if I'm like,
oh damn, well, you did it first. Yeah, like everyone around.
Everyone that does that,
Yeah.
huh? I guess. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
my ear, yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Helped you out a little bit?
A little bit. I flew yesterday and my ear never actually acclimated.
It's weird. Everything about that is weird. Okay, finally, today I learned that Reddit has spent a total of $500 on advertising since its creation. That's $500 since its creation, all of which went toward stickers.
Stickers. If you have a Reddit sticker, you have
something pretty special.
Yeah, you have a good significant portion of Reddit's advertising budget.
Yeah, $500.
If you stole a
You haven't seen
poster
any other.
from Samsung, it would be like 0.000000001%. If you stole a sticker from Reddit, it would be like 0.1% of their advertising budget.
Okay, so when I see a Reddit t-shirt, that was made by somebody outside of Reddit.
Like I got a Reddit t-shirt for the gift exchange because I never got a gift back, and so someone sent me a Reddit t-shirt, and I believe that was donated by the Reddit gift exchange, which isn't technically like Reddit itself, the corporation, or maybe those were donated by someone else.
Yeah.
Yeah, so advertisement, and also that could also be considered not advertisement. That's the fulfillment of a promise that I'd get a gift back. I don't know.
Well, Reddit, you don't need to do a lot of advertising.
No.
Congrats to you.
No,
Your
kind of
brand
amazing.
speaks for itself.
Or we're about
May
ready
that-
to get a billboard.
May that be good or bad? We're about ready to get a billboard?
That's what I hear.
What does that mean?
Probably Twit will have a billboard on some highway somewhere.
Oh, we're not talking about Reddit anymore.
No, I'm talking about Twit.
Oh, we're talking about
Twit.
Twit.
About ready to
Sometimes
get
I just
billboard.
don't know with you, Chad.
Yeah, no. Listen, I make jumps in my brain, like multiple jumps before I tell anyone, and
it's
I just
good.
hope everyone can
No, it's
keep
good.
up.
I'm here to help us all connect the dots.
Good.
So it's a match made in heaven.
Good.
All right, we should actually remind people that of all the subreddits we cover, we also have one of our own. It's r/redditUP. That is where not only do we post all of our new episodes, but you as a community can help vote on stories up or down, and kind of just be in there, hang out. Chad's in there all the time.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah. All the time,
Sometimes.
sometimes.
Yeah, no, it's more of an
It's mostly-
it's more of an informational place.
Right. It's also the best place to probably discuss the show.
Yeah.
And so we post
Yeah,
the links to the show notes, and you can comment in that thread, and that's probably the best way to use the subreddit.
And of course, for anybody who is looking to maybe you missed episode 3, or you'd like to subscribe to the show, either one of our audio or video feeds, makes it just easier each week to get the show delivered to you. You can always go to twit.tv/reddit,
twit.tv/RU.
RU works as well. Jeez, man. Look how tan I was last week. Oh, that was after Hawaii. Oh, those were the days, weren't they?
Yeah.
Oh.
Look
good
how
times.
not tan I am.
Well, no, you look great.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's of course everything at Twit is available for subscription. And if you want to watch us live, we shoot the show right after Tech News Tonight on Wednesdays, about 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. So fun to have all of you live. We're watching the chat room. Some of you like our jokes, and some of you don't. And that's all good too.
you
That's
really
all
don't.
good too. Can't please everybody all the time. All right, Chad, what do you think?
I think that about wraps it up for this week on Reddit Up.
All right, see you guys next week. Thanks for watching.